going live here in just a moment. Spats is over here. I'm going to be simulcasting this on Facebook also as soon as I get my Facebook phone going here. So just bear with me for a minute. Just make sure your video or your audio is turned down over there. Yep. Hi. Well, unfortunately, Nelson, it's exactly as it sounds. I'm going live on Facebook here in a second also. It's gonna be the same video though. I'm not tagging anybody. Okay, we're gonna try to do this. Does that still work?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. There goes the ceiling, y'all. See, told you we're doing it live. Sorry for all the noises that are probably coming from there. But you have to bear with me because considering the circumstance, well, I hate to joke, but I can't see it very well.
Okay, there's Emerson.
Hi. Okay. The first thing I want to say is that I was about to say this video is not about Maytag. It's not about washing machines. It's not about fans. It's not about cars. So if you came here to discuss that, I'm not going to be paying any attention to you. I'm sorry that I'm being sort of a dick about it. But it is what it is. This is a serious discussion, and I'm not joking, and I'm not talking about washing machines.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, but if that's why you came here, then I'll see you later. Now I'm on two phones.
Yeah.
All right. What I'm doing is I'm also logging in on the computer screen so that I'll have a bigger picture here. So I got Facebook here. All right, there's this. All right. Now I can read the comments on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. So what's going on with me? I'm losing my vision. Might as well just go ahead and get that out there. There's a lot of discussion so far between myself and friends of mine as far as to why this is happening and the extent as to which this is happening. First of all, I apologize for the sloppy setup there. I had Spats' phone over here already broadcasting on YouTube, and then my phone over here already broadcasting on Facebook. My point in all this is I want to raise a few little bits of awareness here, and I want to tell my story, and some of this is why we haven't really posted much in the past little bit here. I've been a type 1 diabetic my entire life since I was born. I was too young to remember when I was diagnosed. One of the telltale signs in a child is frequent urination and constant thirst, which I experienced according to my mom, and she took me to the pediatrician for examination, who gave me a glucose tolerance test, and it was determined that I was a diabetic around 18 months old. Angel says hi.
Hi.
Also, it seems like we have a pretty long lag here, and I'm not surprised because we have 5 devices streaming video back and forth across the internet. Anyhow, type 1 diabetes is the type that has the dependence on insulin, which I've taken insulin my whole life. And it Type 2 can also have these same problems. Type 1 just basically means you're insulin dependent. And the first thing I got was diabetic peripheral neuropathy. That is a condition where there's nerve damage that results from diabetes. And it, bonjour Etienne, it causes pain and mobility issues, which I've had since 2010, and only just got worse around 2013 or 14. So that situation has been dealt with fairly effectively recently. But 2.5 years ago, I was diagnosed with diabetic retinopathy. Long and the short of what happens is, due to diabetes, the tiny little capillaries in the eyeballs sort of become clogged up, and they regrow new capillaries to bypass the clogs. Yeah, Miguel, that's why I can't drive a manual transmission anymore. I couldn't handle the clutch. But the capillaries regrow new capillaries, but this happens incorrectly. What can happen is the new capillaries can become weakened, and it can result in stuff like retinal detachment. And there was evidence 2.5 years ago of retinal detachment in both my eyeballs. Well, my eye doctor, who is an eye surgeon, he, basically indicated that we're going to keep an eye on it with the dilated eye exams. But one day, I might experience sudden vision loss. And that's pretty much what's happened as of yesterday in my right eye. Now, there's nothing, you can't see anything, wrong with it. There's nothing physically wrong with the surface of my eye, but I can't see anything with it. It started on the way home from work yesterday, and I work about an hour from home for my day job. I'm going to catch up on the comments here in a minute, but yesterday I was driving home, and I noticed that I had this blurriness going on. And, well, I don't know how to describe it. It's like I was driving and, it's like when you get tired and your eyes won't focus and you kind of blink real hard and you strain to focus. It was like that. But I didn't really put much thought into it. And I'll explain further on why I didn't here in a minute. But I got home. I just thought I was tired. I took a nap. And then I got up. And it was last night when Emerson Colley was on Xbox Live with Spats here, playing a game, and the bright TV screen, I kept, seeing it again, and suddenly there's this big blob in my vision, and it was blood. That's what's happened. What's happened, and this is disgusting, coming up here. So skip about 10 seconds if you don't want to hear it. But my right eyeball has filled up with blood inside. And that has caused my vision to become opaque. I can see, if I look just through my right eye right now, I can't read the text on the screen. And I have 21 inches of me and Spats here in front of me, and I wouldn't recognize either one of us at the moment. And I can't read the text, obviously. So, yeah, that's what's going on. Magic Nut, the condition generally affects both eyes, but it's not exclusively so. Sometimes the condition can affect one or, one of the other eyes. And I had my hair fixed better earlier, but now it just looks like shit, so, yeah. So, there's been a lot of encouragement. A few things I wanted to get out there is a lot of my friends have asked me, well, your diabetes must not be under good control. I mean, it is now. It hasn't been in the past. But I mean, it just came second. It just didn't really come. It didn't come up in my mind very much. Because I've just spent the last 8 years of my life, or 8 years, 8 months. My, does time fly? 8 years. No, I just spent the last 8 months trying to get things squared away from all the drama that we caused. And I just got over that. Just finished with that. It's not really even finished because I still hear about it, but the main thing is I have added, a successful day job to my volunteer psychological stuff. For those of you who follow my life, I am a volunteer in the field of psychology. And I'm not getting far into my career stuff right now, but I just spent the last 8 months really struggling. And not exactly putting my health at the forefront of my mind. And then suddenly yesterday, just out of the blue, boom, there it goes. No, Bill, they can't drain off the blood because the eyeball is pretty much hermetically sealed. And the thing is, if they draw blood out of the eyeball, something has to replace that blood to prevent the structure from collapsing. There is basically a fake vitreous fluid available that can be injected into one side of the eyeball while the other side is drained, but that fluid is highly unsuccessful at the time in the US. My retina is already detached. I have already spoken with my ophthalmologist today. And before anybody says anything, ophthalmologist is an eye surgeon. Ophthalmologist is an eye doctor. I spoke with him today. There's not much he can do over the phone because he's on vacation in Florida and I'm here in Pennsylvania. The soonest appointment I could have is Wednesday. So I'm going Wednesday. Earlier, yeah, a bionic replacement. You know what? If I get a bionic replacement that has a camera, I'm going to make sure I get some sort of freaking laser in there. Laser. And I'll use that shit too. Trust me. Thank you, David. But went to be seen about it. There's nothing that they would do other than, make an appointment with your eye doctor. Well, I mean, that's already been done. So UPMC, Presbyterian, can't do anything about it. That's okay, I understand. I'm in the medical field too. I worked for a competing hospital. I understand that there's only so much that can be done in an emergency department. I'm going to keep putting this off. Because it's going to be hard for me to discuss. So I'm going to keep talking about the biology behind it. Oh, I just blasted everybody with giant forehead and receding hairline. I haven't lost my sense of humor, but I kind of have. So, love you too, Sebby. Thank you. Yeah, seriously, I would be interested in something like a bionic eye in the future. If I take my glasses off and I do this right here, if you're familiar with one of those pebbly textured glass shower doors, well, that's what it's like looking through right now, only dark red tinted. And I can see the computer screens as far as that they're white squares of light, but I can't see the phone screens at all. I can see a little circle in the center of the two phone screens. Both of these videos are being streamed from Apple iPhone 10 XS Max devices. So they're large screens, but I couldn't see anything but the outline of my face just then. So yeah, my ophthalmologist said that we're gonna get together on Wednesday afternoon, and he's gonna do a full examination and see exactly what's wrong. UPMC Presby can't see anything through there because they don't have the equipment and it's opaque. I mean, it's full of blood. I can't see out. That means that light can't get in, and that includes laser light. So, you know, there's just nothing that can be done. And if my retina is detached, I'm not familiar with any sort of procedure that would be able to restore my sight in that eye. Thank you, Ruffles. I've tried, but I can't really take the credit. I've spent about 8 months not really eating much. Right now I've got a black dot that's floating up. I haven't had black until now. That's great.
So what does that mean?
I don't know. I don't know what that means. I just know that I've been having the red vision. Come on, phone, stay, shit. Ugh. There's a black dot in the middle of the red blob now. What it looks like to me when I'm looking at things at the moment, if you've ever put on a pair of those red and green 3D glasses, that's what it looks like. It's sort of like watching a 3D movie without glasses on. It's because this eye is nothing and this eye is normal. That leads me into the second part of this. My left eye here, I can still see fine out of, but my ophthalmologist said that there was a high likelihood that if this eye has sprung a leak, then the other one any day now is going to happen. And when that happens, I won't be able to see anything. Whew. That's just a fact. Yeah, it is really disorienting. Now, here come the hate comments, because yes, I drove today, didn't I?
Yeah.
But I was all right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, surprisingly, I just want to try it out to see what it was like. And surprisingly, I guess driving requires a lot of muscle memory and visual acuity and stuff like that that can be compensated for internal to the brain, because it really wasn't that hard. I think I drove safely and I handled the car very well, and I mean, did you notice any difference, honestly?
No.
So the only thing I noticed is when I looked up to the rearview mirror, it was just like, literally like the back window of my car was splattered in gore. It was just blood splatter. When I put on the rear camera or the side cameras, it just the same thing. Looking over at the touchscreen, it was just, I mean, just like now. I do that, and everything's just a bloody fog. And what terrifies me is literally at any moment my left eye could just like that, and that would be it. So yeah, the vitrectomy, basically, so far from what little I know, is that the replacement fluid, the synthetic fluid, just doesn't cut it. Could the condition alleviate on its own? No, unfortunately not. It won't go away. The only the specific statistics that we discussed, two friends of mine that are medical providers, my ophthalmologist, a couple of medical doctors I know at UPMC Presbyterian who collaborate with me on various stuff. My own PCP, my endocrinologist, we pretty much all agree that there's no cure. The only thing that can be done is there's a possibility of this being, what's the word I'm looking for here? Postponed?
Drawing a blank.
I'm drawing a blank too. It's been a rough day. There's a possibility that this can be delayed from getting worse. I know I'm boring, but I'm just trying to talk to everybody about it. So I wish that I could say Jennings. Yeah, right. Okay, so I'm glad that somebody understands. I mean, the only things that I noticed when I was driving was, yeah, please do call me. Okay, on PA 65 in Pittsburgh near the casino, it's like 2 lanes and then an exit lane. And there was a car in each lane. All 3 were going slowly, and I was coming up on them pretty fast because I was doing the speed limit. See my halo? Bling. And I realized that I couldn't tell which car was further in front of which. So I had to slow down and really concentrate until I figured out which car was further ahead of the pack so that I could move over and pass safely. So, and it's been interesting trying to do things at the workbench so far. I'm going to be working on something pretty big here in a minute, but because I want to see if I can still solder and stuff, because that's my new job. That's exactly what I do with my new job, is I assemble and repair, Macintosh amps and, Dynaco amps and RCA stuff for audiophiles and musicians and the entertainment industry. And I have to be able to solder. I have to be able to read tiny print, schematics, stuff like that. And then, of course, when I do my psych consultations and, see patients, I have to do just that. I have to, see patients. And I don't know. I mean, thank you, Will. Colin and Matthew. Magic Nut, I do have good health insurance that will cover my expenses. It should cover most of my expenses, actually. Yeah, right. I was driving the version 1 of Tesla Autopilot. I do have good health insurance, and we're financially sound for what may need to be paid for out of pocket. The way the situation would affect me financially would be if I can't do my day job anymore, then you know, that would be a fairly severe strain, because I'm finally in a place where for the last 5 weeks I've been doing psychology volunteer. So I'm not getting paid at all for psychology, for being a doctor. I'm not getting paid for that. I'm not accepting payment. I decided to not accept payment for that because I think it's very important that people with mental disabilities are able to be seen about and, you know, given therapy, regardless of if they can pay or not, and collaborating with other psychologists and medical doctors on projects that will help the greater good. I started feeling guilty about accepting money for that anyway. But I got my new day job, which falls within the realm of my hobby, and quite frankly, it pays very well. And if I can't do it anymore, I'm going to lose a very large salary. I am considering applying for SSI disability. I haven't really gotten anywhere yet. I do have a law firm representing me. It's I'll even go so far as to say it's the law firm of Berger and Green in Pittsburgh. And I just kind of pull the trigger and they, you know, do the work for me. But again, this is all going to hinge on Wednesday. Wednesday, I'm going to find out for sure if I'm ever going to see again normally out of my right eye, and if, when, and where my left eye is possibly going to fail, because, y'all, it took minutes. It took minutes from, you know, what's going on in my eyes to I can't see shit from my right eye. It just took minutes. It's like if you put a, you know, blurry red balloon up to a light and you see the light through it. That's what I see out of my right eye right now. And it doesn't look likely to get better at all. Yeah, I can do psychology work without seeing facial expressions, mainly in, well, let's just say various circumstances. But my problem is a lot of psychology is paperwork. And a lot of said paperwork can't be even looked at by anybody else because of HIPAA. I don't know what else to say other than I appreciate my friends who have come forth with suggestions and possibilities. If I were to go on SSI, I would get a considerable amount more than that. I would get over twice that, actually. 771. I would get somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,700 a month. Just throwing that out there. That isn't a drop in the bucket compared to what I used to earn, but, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, text to speech would get around that in certain ways, but I would have to have a private soundproof area to listen to that, which I do. You know, not sure why I'm even saying that, but I do have a soundproof area, so that, I mean, that would be acceptable. Yeah, it's very difficult from what I've heard. That's why I'm just going straight to a law firm. I'm not even going to apply with Social Security. I'm going straight to a law firm. One of my good friends, Cam, I'm not going to go into it because of it's his business, but we've spoken about disability in the past. Sure, Jennings, that would actually be good. And anything else you can suggest, because even right now, the little site that I have left, it is sort of a struggle to see things, honestly, just because. Exactly. The neighbors don't hear sexy time, even though their house is pretty close, right? I could almost reach out and touch someone. But Jennings, I also need advice on things that I can use to help with my depth perception and stuff. so I'm not kind of, you know, like, oh, there it is, you know, like double reaching. I learned that things that are flat, like the phone or like the screen in my car, are actually more difficult looking at with one eye, surprisingly. Because, you know, when I look at the car screen, I'm like, I don't know why. It doesn't make sense, but yeah. Miguel, yes, indeed, I could go permanently blind. I could already be half permanently blind right now. So yeah, an eye patch. Not sure. Good idea. Going to try it later. I don't have it on right now because, quite honestly, I was afraid that that people would make fun of me for wearing it on camera, and I just don't want to hear it right now. So yeah, I have an eye patch. I'm gonna try it. We've gone out today and been seeing about. I mean, you know, that's we've worked on this today. But here's the hard part. So I really want to all right, you know what? Where'd it go? Where'd I put that, honey?
What's that?
An eye patch. I knew that phone was about to fall. That's why I put my arm out there.
Right there.
Okay. Yeah, I know, to heck with what people think. You're right. You and Angel Zena are correct. Now let me fix this back up. And yes, I know some of you are thinking, oh, it just fell because it's an Apple device. Oh, look. There's my keyboard. Good thing you didn't see any further down than that. All right. Sorry, I'm trying. I can't see very good. I'm trying. Oh, look. What is... That's just shoving it forward, isn't it? All right. Anyway, is this going to work? Yeah, temporarily. We're going to try this. All right, this is for Angel Zener. Right? Yeah. Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry.
Nope, don't be sorry. Nobody's going to be sorry. Oh, my. Is that how you wear it? Okay. Well, that's actually not very uncomfortable. The world's most useless
I gotta be
lens.
excused.
Okay, well, go do your thing, and I'll be all right. Oh, eye patch. Okay, who has a problem with this? Who doesn't like my eye patch?
No.
No, I said who, not he.
No.
I'll be in there in a minute. Sit up a little straighter here so I can see. Okay, so there's that. Spats had to excuse himself. It's not, I'm sitting here laughing and having a good time, but it's completely and totally fake. I'm not happy. I'm not having a good time. Yeah, Emerson actually did. Actually, it made where I don't have to do this. I could just look, and I did. I actually did see a little bit better that way. But yeah, it's gonna work. So I gotta wrap this up, but anyway, like I've been trying to avoid, the hard part is that I should sit here and say, oh, I'll be fine. I mean, you know, I'll adapt. I'll be fine. But I don't feel that way. I just don't. I don't feel that way. I feel like I'm gonna lose my job. And I feel like I'm gonna fail yet again. And I don't want to be blind. So, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.